Hey, glad to see you.
You're one guy I bet the public doesn't make a mistake with. Usually they see a guy on television and they'll say, hey, you're much taller, you're much smaller. You're a big cat.
Well, everybody says, they say I look bigger when they see me in person.
Yeah, you can be.
Television is a little deceiving at times. I
Yes,
think.
it is. Johnny, country music is really soul music, isn't it?
Certainly. I think to me, it's a lot of soul music. Country music is a big part of the folk music of America. I think probably, a lot of people probably don't appreciate a lot of country music. I suppose I don't appreciate some of it, but basically I think country music is our greatest music, and probably 100 years from now,
really
they'll
Americana,
be
too.
studying,
Yeah.
the students will be studying folk music and
Yeah.
jazz.
Have you ever
blues.
thought about what makes country music and soul music alike?
Well, it's from down in here, right,
That's
James?
right. That's
the
right.
name of the game. See, that's the thing that I've always admired when I see you work, is I know that, what you transmit through that tube is you, and same thing applies to James, and that's really the name of the game. Do you like country music, James?
Yeah, I like country music, but most of all, I like it when cats like this man do it. He really take care of business and tells a story. Because there's a lot of cats sing soul, man, that don't get across as well as the others,
I know that your early memories can't all be too pleasant, Johnny. Do you talk about it much? Do you think about it much?
Well, actually, Mike, they are very pleasant. They were kind of lean times, but I wouldn't take anything for them. I think what I went through as a child and then in some of the harder years coming up in this business made me whatever I am now, whatever that's worth. And I like myself now, whereas a few years ago I didn't like myself so well.
What didn't you like about yourself a few years ago?
Well, a few years ago I had personal problems and bad habits that took a long time to break. And
Can we talk about that at all?
yeah, if you feel like we ought to. I guess so.
I think the reason I would, Johnny, is because I want to bring something up that I think
All right.
is very admirable in you. And I know that the first time you visited my show, which I think was about 6 or 7 years ago in Cleveland, you were having that problem at the time.
Let me tell you, Mike, I remember that I was booked on the Mike Douglas show about 6 or 7 years ago, and I remember heading toward Cleveland, but I don't remember seeing you there. And that's one of the things I'm talking about. I was definitely on the show because I heard about it later. And every time I had to face it, I heard about it. I usually ran from it, when somebody wanted to mention me being on the Mike Douglas show. Well, I wasn't a very good performer. I feel like what I'm talking about is I'm a much better performer than you saw there in Cleveland.
You were on pills, weren't you, at the time?
Yeah, that's right.
What kind of pills?
Well, Dexedrine, Benzedrine, uppers, and then when it came time that I felt like I just had to go to bed or die, it would be sleeping pills. And then the next day back on uppers. It was a vicious cycle that a lot of people get caught up in. And I was far luckier than a lot of people will be.
What turns you around, Johnny?
Well, it was many things. It was, it was the belief that I was a better man than I was showing the world I was. I was losing my voice. I had stopped composing, and I was stopping. I didn't anymore have any heart for what I was doing. I didn't feel those songs the
You
way
were just doing it by
I
rote,
should
so
have,
to
right?
speak, yeah?
And I realized that God didn't want me to live that kind of life.
Why do you wear black all the time, Johnny?
Well, this sounds like just a record plug, and it's not, Mike. I wrote a song called "The Man in Black," and
Put here. Is this it?
yeah, and I wrote the song because people were always asking me why I wore black. I've worn black basically ever since I've been in the music business. But I never did really answer the reporters when they asked that question. And as
You
the
gonna
way,
answer me?
yeah, I will answer you. It's in the lyrics of the song called
I
"The Man
see.
in Black."
Uh-huh. Well,
And this is a song that really is from here, like we were talking about, James.
And you wrote this yourself?
Yes,
This
I
is your
did. Right.
Well, now that you talked about it, will you sing it?
I'd love to.
Johnny Cash.